Hi everyone. For today's video, we're going to look at how cameras are used for interpretation, duo, a couple of events, and then hopefully you'll be able to take some of the tips and apply them to your own camera work when you prepare your speeches for tournament. So let's go ahead and start, and then I will just pause occasionally to throw in some feedback. Here we go.
Hey, Sammy, come here. Let me just talk to you.
It's okay, Dad. I mean, playing soccer with Grandpa wasn't even fun. I just sat on the bench.
Okay, so I've paused it here to highlight the facial expression. The camera has zoomed in so that we can clearly see the facial expression. If your presentation has impactful facial expressions, make sure that your camera is placed close enough that we'll be able to see that as an audience. Now, in this example, the cameraman can zoom in, zoom out, and so forth. That might not be allowed in the rules for your competition. And so if you're required to have a static camera placement, just make sure that it suits your piece, and if your piece has these facial expressions, that the camera placement is close enough for those to be picked up. Okay, now I'm going to pause again. You saw that he zoomed in, but he just did an action where he's dropping the ball and pretends to miss the kick. And we missed it because we don't see the kick. We're zoomed in too close. And so just like you can be too far away and not pick up the facial expressions, you could be zoomed in too close, your focus could be too close, and you will miss the hand and feet movement of your performance.
Let's just, go check out the new team tomorrow.
In a society where parents will seemingly do anything to help their kids win and succeed, I'm proud that my older sister, all by herself, committed to USC for rowing.
Okay, in this next example, you're going to notice that it starts out blurry. This is done on purpose. This might be what your judge ends up seeing if your judge has a poor internet connection. Keep this in mind when you're delivering your performance. You have no control over the quality of your judge's connection, and if this is how they see your video, consider what that means for your performance and how that might affect things like gestures, facial expressions, and movement.
Manifests itself in many ways. It is often difficult to know where to begin. Over the last decade, the number of women participating at the Tournament of Champions has decreased. The ratio of men to women at the National Debate Tournament and Tournament of Champions is 4-to-1. This is not meant to imply that all women have the same experiences in debate. Rather, our goal is to let this manual serve as a starting point for future discussions, recognizing how sexism exists.
Okay, so in this example, we see that she's clicking through a PowerPoint slide just off screen, and looking at it, we have the illusion that there must really be a PowerPoint slide that we just can't see. Using the frame of the camera to enhance this illusion is very effective and convincing to your judge. However, be aware that in some rules, you might not be allowed to use the frame of the camera to do things like transition from one scene to another, or to introduce visual effects that were hidden off screen. If the rules for the tournament disallow that, you need to be careful not to violate those rules. But as you can see, using the frame of the camera to create the illusion that there's something just off screen is very effective and convincing.
This in our community, but everyone on the island of music, in the city of drum beats, believed that only boys should play drums. In a 2013 study entitled Men Outspeak Women, analyzing the gender gap in competitive debate, Dr. Emma Pearson analyzed over 35,000 speaker scores to conclude a significant statistical disparity between the success of males and females in debate rounds.
Okay, in this example, we're going to see how props are utilized and camera placement in relation to those props. Let's go ahead and start.
Large names and groups often do not come out to live as their most authentic selves, but rather to help others do so. Now, when we mortals come out, we don't have to face the horrors of having our regrettable haircuts plastered on magazines for...
Okay, so you notice that she's moved from the left to the right, and when we're participating in a tournament where the rules require static camera placement, we need to make sure that the camera frame is sufficiently large so that wherever we've blocked out our position, we will be in frame in camera. So in this case, you know, the camera might not be able to pan if that's in violation of the rules. So make sure that in the camera frame that we have our positions blocked out and some space to the right and to the left of the prop if we need to be on both sides.
millions of strangers. Still, oftentimes, folks will seek out less intimidating means of coming out before that big, scary, "Mom, Dad, I'm insert orientation here" conversation. Especially minors, who face the most danger if their parents are unsupportive. Enter the internet. You've probably figured out this fun little stereotype on your own, but teens love the internet, and LGBT teens are no exception. Which is why the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network conducted the Out Online survey. They found that 1 in 10 LGBT youth had first come out to somebody else online. 1 in 4 claimed that they were more out online than in real life, finding that online spaces offer them expanded opportunities for exploring and being open about their gender identity or sexual orientation. Furthermore, 1 in 2 who were not out offline had used the internet to seek out LGBT communities online.
Okay, in this example we have a duo, and let's see what we can learn about camera placement and movements as we have 2 people in frame.
I'd been up north a year when I decided to join the Quakers. Dear Hetty, they've shown me a God of love, not hate. I am going to become a minister.
And when the New Year's came round, dear Miss Sarah, I decided to get religion too. Praise the Lord! Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
A group of us wrote pamphlets. We set down every argument the South made.
Okay, take a look here at how spread apart the participants are. They are across the entire frame of the camera. The camera has to pull back quite a ways in order to capture all of the action. This means that the further we pull back, the less of the gestures and facial expressions that we'll be able to see as a judge. So keep that in mind as you look at your piece. If it's a piece where you're going to occupy a large part of the stage, remember you're going to have to pull the camera back and you're going to lose detail in the facial expressions.
Slavery, refuted them all. Mine, an epistle to the clergy of the southern states.
And the walls came tumbling down.
I heard a drum beating. I had come to the African Church of the Lord.
But one night, the doors burst open and the city guard spread it along the wall, barring the door. What's the meaning of this?
You will be moved to the workhouse and sentenced with due and proper punishment.
Not a fine